Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th Canto, Chapter 16, a description of Jambudvipa, text 5 to 21. Hare Krishna, please be patient while listening from 5 to 20. A lot of descriptions. 21 has a purport. But it's important not to miss out any of the descriptions. Text 5. The planetary system known as Bhumandala resembles a lotus flower, and its 7 islands resemble the whirl of that flower. The length and breadth of the island known as Jambudvipa, which is situated in the middle of the whirl, are 1 million yojanas, 8 million miles. Jambudvipa is round like the leaf of a lotus flower. In Jambudvipa, there are 9 divisions of land, each with a length of 9,000 yojanas, 72,000 miles. There are 8 mountains that mark the boundaries of these divisions and separate them nicely. Purport. Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura gives the following quotation from the Vayu Purana, wherein the locations of the various mountains beginning with the Himalayas are described. Text 7. Amidst these divisions of Varshas is the Varsha named Ilavrata, which is situated in the middle of the whirl of the lotus. Within Ilavrata Varsha is the Sumeru mountain, which is made of gold. Sumeru is like the pericarp of the lotus-like Bhumandala planetary system. The mountain's height is the same as the width of Jambudvipa, or in other words, 100,000 yojanas, that is 800,000 miles. Of that, 16,000 yojanas, 128,000 miles are within the earth. And therefore, the mountain's height above the earth is 84,000 yojanas, or 672,000 miles. The mountain's width is 32,000 yojanas, 256,000 miles at its summit, and 16,000 yojanas at its base. Text 8. Just north of Ilavrata Varsha and going further northward, one after another, are 3 mountains named Nila, Shweta, and Shringavan. These mark the borders of the 3 Varshas named Damyaka, Hiranmaya, and Kuru, and separate them from one another. The width of these mountains is 2,000 yojanas, 16,000 miles. Lengthwise, they extend east and west to the beaches of the ocean of salt water. Going from south to north, the length of each mountain is 1/10 that of the previous mountain, but the height of them all is the same. Purport. In this regard, Madhvacharya quotes the following verses from the Brahmanda Purana. It appears from these verses that aside from the sun and the moon, there is an invisible planet called Rahu. The movements of Rahu cause both solar and lunar eclipses. He suggests that the modern expeditions attempting to reach the moon are mistakenly going to Rahu. Text 9. Similarly, south of Ilavrata Varsha and extending from east to west are 3 great mountains named from north to south, Nishada, Hemakuta, and Himalaya. They mark the boundaries of the 3 Varshas named Hari Varshas, Kimpurusha Varsha, and Bharata Varsha, India. Text 10. In the same way, east and west of Ilavrata Varsha are 2 great mountains named Malyavan and Gandhamadana, respectively. These 2 mountains, which are 2,000 yojanas, 16,000 miles high, extend as far as Nila mountain in the north and Nishada in the south. They indicate the borders of Ilavrata Varsha and also the Varshas known as Ketumala and Bhadrashva. Purport. There are so many mountains, even on this planet Earth. We do not think that the measurements of all of them have actually been calculated. While passing over the mountainous region from Mexico to Carasa, we actually saw so many mountains that we doubt whether their height, length, and breadth have been properly measured. Therefore, as indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam by Shukadeva Goswami, we should not try to comprehend the mountainous areas of the universe merely by our calculations. Shukadeva Goswami has already stated that such calculations would be very difficult even if one had a duration of life like that of Brahma. We should simply be satisfied with the statements of authorities like Shukadeva Goswami and appreciate how the entire cosmic manifestation has been made possible by the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The measurements given herein, such as 10,000 yojanas or 100,000 yojanas, should be considered correct because they have been given by Shukadeva Goswami. Our experimental knowledge can neither verify nor disprove the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. We should simply hear these statements from the authorities. If we can appreciate the extensive energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that will benefit us. Text 11. On the four sides of the great mountain known as Sumeru are four mountains, Mandara, Meru Mandara, Suparshva and Kumuda, which are like its belts. The length and height of these mountains are calculated to be 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles. Text 12. Standing like flagstaffs on the summit of these four mountains are a mango tree, a rose apple tree, a kadamba tree, and a banyan tree. Those trees are calculated to have a width of 100 yojanas, 800 miles, and a height of 1100 yojanas, 8,800 miles. The branches are also spread to a radius of 1100 yojanas. Text 13 to 14. O Maharaja Parikshit, best of the Bharata dynasty, between these four mountains are four huge lakes. The water of the first tastes just like milk, the water of the second like honey, and that of the third like sugarcane juice. The fourth lake is filled with pure water. The celestial beings such as the Siddhas, Charanas, and Gandharvas, who are also known as demigods, enjoy the facilities of those four lakes. Consequently, they have the natural perfections of mystic yoga, such as the power to become smaller than the smallest or greater than the greatest. There are also four celestial gardens named Nandana, Chaitra-ratha, Vaibhrajaka, and Sarvotobhadra. Text 15. The best of the demigods, along with their wives, who are like ornaments of heavenly beauty, meet together and enjoy within these gardens, while their glories are sung by lesser demigods known as Gandharvas. Text 16. On the lower slopes of Mandara mountain is a mango tree named Devachuta. It is 1100 yojanas high. Mangoes as big as mountain peaks and as sweet as nectar fall from the top of this tree for the enjoyment of the denizens of heaven. Purport. In the Vayu Purana, there is also reference to this tree by great learned sages. Text 17. When all those solid fruits fall from such a height, they break and the sweet, fragrant juice within them flows out and becomes increasingly more fragrant as it mixes with other scents. That juice cascades from the mountain in waterfalls and becomes a river called Arunoda, which flows pleasantly through the eastern side of Ilavrata. Text 18. The pious wives of the Yakshas act as personal maidservants to assist Bhavani, the wife of Lord Shiva. Because they drink the water of the river Arunoda, their bodies become fragrant, and as the air carries that fragrance, it perfumes the entire atmosphere for 80 miles around. Text 19. Similarly, the fruits of the jambu tree, which are full of pulp and have very small seeds, fall from a great height and break to pieces. Those fruits are the size of elephants, and the juice gliding from them becomes a river named Jambu Nadi. This river falls a distance of 10,000 yojanas from the summit of Meru Mandara to the southern side of Ilavrata, and floods the entire land of Ilavrata with juice. Purport. We can only imagine how much juice there might be in a fruit that is the size of an elephant but has a very tiny seed. Naturally, the juice from the broken jambu fruits forms waterfalls and floods the entire land of Ilavrata. That juice produces an immense quantity of gold, as will be explained in the next verses. Text 20 to 21. The mud on both banks of the river Jambu Nadi, being moistened by the flowing juice and then dried by the air in the sunshine, produces huge quantities of gold called Jambu Nada. The denizens of heaven use this gold for various kinds of ornaments. Therefore, all the inhabitants of the heavenly planets and their youthful wives are fully decorated with golden helmets, bangles, and belts, and thus they enjoy life. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. By the arrangement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the rivers on some planets produce gold on their banks. The poor inhabitants of this earth, because of their incomplete knowledge, are captivated by a so-called Bhagavan who can produce a small quantity of gold. However, it is understood that in a higher planetary system, in this material world, the mud on the banks of the Jambu Nadi mixes with jambu juice, reacts with the sunshine in the air, and automatically produces huge quantities of gold. Thus, the men and women are decorated there by various golden ornaments, and they look very nice. Unfortunately, on earth, there is such a scarcity of gold that the governments of the world try to keep it in reserve and issue paper currency. Because that currency is not backed up by gold, the paper they distribute as money is worthless. But nevertheless, the people on earth are very proud of material advancement. In modern times, girls and ladies have ornaments made of plastic instead of gold, and plastic utensils are used instead of golden ones. Yet, people are very proud of their material wealth. Therefore, the people of this age are described as Manda Sumanda Matayo Manda Bhagya Hyupadrutaha. Bhagavatam 1:110. In other words, they are extremely bad and slow to understand the opulence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have been described as Sumanda Matayah because their conceptions are so crippled that they accept a bluffer who produces a little gold to be God. Because they have no gold in their possession, they are actually poverty stricken and therefore they are considered unfortunate. Sometimes these unfortunate people want to be promoted to the heavenly planets to achieve fortunate positions as described in this verse. But pure devotees of the Lord are not at all interested in such opulence. Indeed, devotees sometimes compare the color of gold to that of bright golden stool. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed devotees not to be allured by golden ornaments and beautifully decorated women. Na dhanam na janam na sundarim. A devotee should not be allured by gold, beautiful women, or the prestige of having many followers. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore confidentially prayed, Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhaktir ahituki tai. My Lord, please bless me with your devotional service. I do not want anything else. A devotee may pray to be delivered from this material world. That is his only aspiration. Ainanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame pavam bodhau kripaya tava pada pankaja stitadhuli sadrisham vichintaya. The humble devotee simply prays to the Lord, kindly pick me up from this material world which is full of varieties of material opulence and keep me under the shelter of your lotus feet. Srila Narottama Das Thakura prays, Aha Prabhu Nanda Sutta Rishabhanu Sutta Yuta Karunakaraha Eibar Hari Re Narottama Dasakai Nateliha Rangapai Toma Vina Ke Ache Amar Hari Re. O my Lord, O son of Nanda Maharaja, now you are standing before me with your consort, the daughter of Rishabhanu, Srimati Radharani. Kindly accept me as the dust of your lotus feet. Please do not kick me away, for I have no other shelter. Similarly, Prabodhananda Saraswati indicates that the position of the demigods who are decorated with golden helmets and other ornaments is no better than a phantasmagoria. Tridashapur Akasha Pushpayate. A devotee is never allured by such opulences. He simply aspires to become the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. Thus sent the Bhaktivedanta purports to Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, chapter 16, text 21, a description of Jambudvipa.